Hey guys, it's Chelsa Messenger with Picks and Parlays. We're talking hockey. The NHL is finally back, and we're diving into Chicago and Tampa Bay. It's National Championship Week in college football, and we've got a special code for 20% off the entire site at picksandparlays.net. The code is CHAMP. Tampa Bay favored minus 250. The over-under is 6.5 goals. We've got Scott Rickenbach joining us to break this one all down. Scott, I know a lot of us are probably a little rusty when it comes to betting on the NHL, and it's a little bit tougher at the start of the season, especially in the year 2021, with the way things have gone in such a short offseason for these teams. What are you looking at in this one?
Well, first off, yes, it's going to be tough in the early going, and hockey actually is my favorite sport to wager on. I live here in Vegas. It's my favorite sport to bet on. I follow hockey very closely. Thankfully, I'll tell you right now, at this taping in early January, stay away from my college hoops so far. It's been a little up and down for me early this season, but hockey is my passion. I was number one in hockey last season at Picks and Parlays and hoping for another big season. I love hockey and follow it closely. That being said, we've got some different things happening this season. For one thing, they've restructured the divisions, and that applies to this matchup as well right off the bat. This particular matchup, we're talking about Tampa Bay and Chicago. Chicago in the Central Division, like always, but the Canadian teams are all staying north of the border this year for travel restrictions. So they created a Canadian division, and that has resulted in Tampa Bay being moved into the Central Division here for this season. So it's kind of unique because the teams also are only going to play each other, only going to play teams that are within their own division this year. Very unique scheduling, and it's going to create some rivalries as the season goes on. But that's what I was going to talk about as a key component of this matchup right now. The Blackhawks and the Lightning are not rivals. And why does that matter? It's because the defensive intensity, the hard checking into the boards, those types of things that you see like in a divisional matchup, say between teams like the Flyers and Penguins, the Pennsylvania rivals that are in the same division year after year. They get black and blue in their games. That's not the case in a game like this. And the reason that matters is because I think you're going to see a little less defensive intensity in this one. You're going to see a lot of open ice. Chicago is a very young, inexperienced team. They lost more veteran leadership and veteran talent, which they didn't have a lot of talent to begin with, but they lost more in the offseason. So Chicago's kind of in a bad place here, and it's probably going to be Malcolm Subban in goal for this one. And he had a goals against average of, I believe, like 3.4 it's 3.18, I think he had last season, and a save percentage of 890. He's not a very good goalie. And he's going to struggle here with the Tampa Bay team that can put up a ton of goals. They were the number one scoring team in the league last season. So Tampa Bay is going to put pressure on him. I see them scoring a bunch of goals. The Blackhawks have issues on defense. And so we're going to see plenty of goals in this one. Why? Because Chicago will get their fair share. They're going to be willing to take risk. And again, Tampa Bay's defense, they could have a bit of a Stanley Cup hangover after last year. So especially an early season game like this on opening night, facing a team that they don't face that often. Usually, of course, Chicago is a Western Division team and a Western Conference team, and Tampa Bay's an Eastern Conference team. So again, you just don't have that bitter, hard-checking rivalry type of a matchup. So we should see plenty of goals here. And by the way, the goalie for the Lightning, Vasilevsky, he's a fantastic goaltender, but his worst goals against average was against Central Division teams last year. He had like a 3.34 goals against average. So if there was a time for him to get tripped up, it could be right here in the season opener. And I look for this one to go over the total of 6.5 goals.
Should be interesting to watch, but that's going to do it for our hockey talk here on Picks and Parlays. Great insight from the number one capper on picksandparlays.net for the year 2020, Scott Rickenbach. Scott, thanks for joining us.